We've got our food. I've got onions, mushrooms, and green peppers. I've also got chopped up tomatoes with a rough chop. And I've also got my cheese. I've actually put in a little bit of cheddar cheese that I had and just kind of mix it up with my Monterey Jack. Now it's time to move on to cooking the sausage that'll go on our eggs. I actually think sausage makes a great omelet. A lot of people like ham instead, or bacon. You can certainly use your meat of preference, if any. You don't even need a meat to make a great omelet. Just the vegetables of your choice will actually make eggs a lot better and give them a lot more interesting flavors. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start on cooking up my sausage. Alright, I just took a moment on this camera when I actually paused it. So I've got my sausage going on my grill now. Rather. I don't know why I keep calling this thing a grill or a skillet, because it's not. But just want to cook up this. Like I say, they have that crumb sausage that you can buy. It's probably a little more expensive. Just depends on if it's worth it to you. A lot of things too, as well as, you can go to the store, people, and you can buy the mushrooms already kind of chopped up like this. But you're going to pay like twice as much for it typically, or maybe even 3 times as much for it to be chopped up. Really simple to do yourself. Simply slice it from one side to another, and then if you want to chop on it, just simply run your knife across it. Save yourself a lot of money. And same thing with the shredded cheese. You can buy cheese already shredded. I like to actually buy it in a block and shred it myself. Just buy a good hand shredder and shred it yourself. Save yourself some money, because the shredded cheese is probably going to cost you about twice as much as buying it in a big block. It just kind of depends on what the convenience is worth to you. Everything you get ready to go is going to cost you money for the convenience. So we are getting the sausage cooking, and with sausage like this, you pretty much want to cook it on all sides so that there's no bare meat. Another thing you can do, if you're going to do like me here with these sticks and you want it chopped up for your omelet, is you can certainly just kind of cook it roughly on the outside and then go ahead and chop it up and then put it back on the grill. I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, sausage is starting to get done here, so now what we'll do is we'll simply take the sausage, and you can see quite a bit of grease there, so you'll want to put it in a bowl or a plate with paper towels so it can sop up some of that grease. And you'll need to clean the grill again to clean up that grease. And you can certainly use the grease for your omelet, but what will happen is it might taste good, but you're going to have a greasy omelet, and it's going to be a really disgusting color more than likely. What we'll do now is take our paper towels, kind of blot the sausage out, try to get all that grease out that we can. You're never going to get all the grease out of sausage. I think that's about 80% of what it is. That's what makes it so good, like I say. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take the paper towel out. And because I want this a fine chop for my omelets, I don't want to have them that big, obviously. I'll take my same hand chopper that I use for my onions, and use a bowl big enough. And I will just take it, and I'm telling you, this is the most versatile kitchen tool I think I've ever bought, and I think it was only about $8. We've had it forever, and it's still pretty sharp after 7 or 8 years. Now, if you don't got your sausage completely done, what you can do is you can give it a nice chop, and if you start seeing pink on the inside while you're chopping, you can certainly put it back on the grill and cook it a little more thoroughly. Definitely want to make sure you get this pork completely done, because it can make you sick if it's not. So if you do see any pink in your sausage, if you don't cook it quite this much on the outside and it's not done on the inside, then you'll probably want to give it a chop up and put it back on back in your skillet or back on your electric griddle for just a couple more minutes until it looks like it's done. And after I chopped up my sausage, I'll just want to go ahead and clean off my grill. Give it a nice scrub down, get all that sausage grease off. And be back in just a second. Alright, we've got our griddle cleaned off and ready for our eggs. We've got our sausage chopped up and ready to go. We've got our tomatoes waiting for us, so they're nice and cold. We've got our shredded cheese, and we've got all our condiments. Now the next step is we're going to go ahead and get the eggs ready. We got our cup right here. Go ahead and set that there so I can crack the eggs. And I showed this on the scrambled eggs video, how to crack an egg. So if you don't know how to crack an egg without making a mess, you might want to watch that video. For time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and do this quickly. Now you'll see that 2 eggs makes a pretty good sized omelet. If you use 3 eggs, it's going to make a gigantic omelet. Actually, I'm going to put a little salt in them. Not very much salt. About a 1/4 teaspoon for 3 eggs is all you want. And about a teaspoon of milk per egg. You can guesstimate it if you've done it 100,000 times. Otherwise, you may want to measure it. And if you want black pepper in it, you'll have to do that, add that as well. I actually got my camera setting on my black pepper right now. So, take my camera here, black pepper, and add that to your taste. That's obviously a preference, how much pepper you like in your eggs. A lot of people use a little water in their eggs to thin them out. I actually prefer milk, so that's why I do that. It's time to go ahead and start our omelets, but what we want to do first is I like to go ahead and heat up my mushrooms, if I have onions, and green peppers. So I'm going to go ahead and give those a nice caramelization. I can do that right on my grill, or my griddle. Put down a layer of cooking spray, whatever cooking spray you prefer. And since I am going to be eating, my wife and I are going to be eating all this stuff on the same omelet anyway, I'm not going to be picky about, let me go ahead and set my camera down again. I'm not going to be picky about keeping this stuff separate. Now if you have kids or something like that that are picky about, you know, maybe they want onions but no mushrooms, or vice versa or whatever, you might want to separate it when you take it off the grill. But I'm just going to cook it all together and make a mixture of it. Alright. And this is probably going to take, 2 or 3, 4 minutes to get this stuff in our caramel. It's probably not even that long, probably just a couple of minutes. You just want to make sure that you get it all thoroughly caramelized. Those onions are starting to caramelize really nice. And if only you could smell the aroma coming from this grilled up onions and green pepper and mushrooms. It's already smelling fantastic. And like I say, you can put a lot of things on your omelet. There's, I mean, you could put cilantro on there, would be really good. You could put fresh parsley. You could put, you know, like I say, bacon, a lot of different kinds of meats on there. Basil. Probably put chop celery on there if you wanted to. There's a lot of things you could put on your omelet that, you know, just depend on your preferences, what you like on your omelet. And what we're really looking to do with these vegetables here is just to kind of get them a little bit caramelized, but to mainly heat them up, because we want them nice and hot when we bite into our omelet. And if we was to put these on there just as they were, what you'd have is you'd have a hot omelet and you'd have a raw, cold piece of onion or, you know, green pepper, and probably wouldn't taste as good as if they were already hot and caramelized on your omelet. Alright, so now the next step is to go ahead and put all these goodies back onto your plate. Got to get them off the grill so that we can get our eggs on there. Alright, once you've removed all your vegetables from your griddle, you'll want to go ahead and make sure you got a nice coat of cooking spray back on there so your eggs don't stick. Again, you'll want to wait till that cooking spray starts to get hot. That'll take about 10 to 15 seconds. Again, my griddle here is about 350 degrees right now. It's about where I want it to cook those eggs. And I'll take my eggs, and since they've just been sitting there, I want to go ahead and get that salt and pepper incorporated back in. Going to be time once you see your oil start smoking a little bit on your griddle. It's time to go ahead and add your eggs for your omelet. Now what I like to do is start in the upper left hand corner. I do this for my scrambled eggs as well, if you watch that video. And you'll want to make sure your griddle is hot when you do this, whether you're doing scrambled eggs or an omelet or whatever, or your eggs will run real fast down into your overflow reservoir down there. And what you're looking here to do, sorry about the camera there, what you're looking to do here is try to make a big square with your eggs. And if you need to push it up a little bit, you can do that. You want to get all the eggs on there pretty even though. So right here is what I'll try to do is pour the remaining half an egg or so that's still in here, right here, so I can have a nice square on my griddle. And if you don't have a nice square, if it's kind of odd shaped like that, all you have to do is take your spatula, push it up to where you want it. You're going to want to let this on a 350 degree griddle. You're going to want to go ahead and let that sit there for a good probably 2 minutes, because I like to have the, you know, the brown starting to crust a little bit on the outside of my omelet. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add my cheese first, and you'll want to add that right in the middle. So what you want to do is just go ahead and take a nice big handful of cheese. Don't be stingy here. Get that cheese right there in the middle, where we're going to pile everything for our omelet. And then on top of that, we're going to take some of our hopefully still hot onions and mushrooms and whatever else you decided to put on your omelet. Kind of use a spoon to even it out. Add a little more if you want to. This is going to be a nice big omelet even with 2 eggs. And on my sausage, I'll take some of my chopped up sausage, slap that stuff right on there as well. And that's going to be a nice thick omelet, as you can see. And once it's eggs are starting to get done, after about 2 minutes after you pile everything on there, it'll probably be ready to go ahead and take a spatula under your right side, or you could do the left, either one, and just kind of fold it over. Now I may not make the best looking omelets, but they taste just as good as a professional. So what you can kind of do is, at this point, you can kind of take your spatula and smash it down a little bit. I'll get my camera strap off the grill there, and that'll help close it up just a little bit. And as you can see by the size of my spatula there, that is a pretty nice size omelet. And after that sits there for about another minute after you flip those sides, your next trick is going to be trying to get under this omelet. Hopefully you've greased your griddle enough to where your spatula can go under easy, and try to get right into the middle of it. And then it's going to be a quick flip, just like your pancakes. This is pretty big, so I might end up tearing it, but even if I do, it's not going to be a big deal. I actually did it okay there, because it's all going to taste the same. I mean, even if you wind up with this a little bit scrambled and it doesn't look so pretty, this thing is going to be absolutely delicious when you go to eat it. Alright, back now, and I just left it on that other side for about another minute. And this would probably be about a big enough omelet with just 2 eggs to feed two pretty good sized kids. So when it's done, you're just going to want to get under it with your spatula and go ahead and set it on a plate. This is about a 9-inch plate, and that's filling that plate up really nicely. So what we can do now is come over here and get inside our drawer, and we'll grab a fork and see if we can show you what this omelet looks like on the inside. This isn't the best camera in the world. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know I don't have a great camera. It's only about a $69 camera. But as you can see, looking at that omelet, our cheese is completely melted. We got all our hot vegetables and sausage on the inside, and the outside has a nice brown crust. This should be a delicious omelet. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Again, I also appreciate it if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you hate the video for some reason, please leave a comment and let me know why, and leave a thumbs down. I just appreciate your honesty. If you have any other suggestions, please feel leave those below in the comment, and be sure you subscribe if you want to. This is Axter99 with omelets again, and you have a good day and enjoy those omelets.